Hello everyone, my name is Demismu and this is my assistant, the Foot, and today we'll talk about Parmenides. Parmenides is a thinker concerned with the question of being. Like many other philosophers of the time, he presented his views in a poem called On Nature, and in this poem he tells of a goddess who guides him on the path of truth, which is opposed to the path of opinion. So what does he learn on the path of truth? He learns that being is one, immovable, continuous, imperishable, and indestructible. Here's a quote: "How could what is perish? How could it have come to be? For if it came into being, it is not, nor is it, if ever it is going to be. Thus coming into being is extinguished, and destruction unknown." What is being, and why does it have such characteristics? Being is, well, it's the is. We often say he is walking, she is speaking, but we don't often say he or she is. Something is, and being is just that, the is part. The word being, that something simply is without further qualifications, relates to this bare fact of existence. So when Parmenides talks about what is, he does not mean any particular thing, a particular instance of being, a human being, an animal being, a being called a star. These are all beings, in other words, existing things. Parmenides, however, asks about existence as such, being in general, without any qualifications. And according to him, when we think being as such, we must realize that it did not come to be and that it cannot perish, because it always is. Similarly, because being simply is, it does not change, and because being is all and one, it does not move. There is nothing outside being in which it can move. There is no non-being, no void. And Parmenides pushes this to the extreme. Not only is there no non-being, there are also no particular beings. Now this might seem radical to us, saying that there is only being as such, that there are no things, no movement, no change, no generation or destruction. But what Parmenides criticizes here is our everyday perception of reality. What we perceive as movement, change, plurality of things is merely that, our perception, and we ourselves actually often use this kind of an argument. For example, someone might say there are no TVs, no houses, no human beings. There are only particles and their interactions. Only we recognize a TV as a TV. From a certain standpoint of abstraction, any existing thing can be reduced to some other thing. Is there such thing as a people, or is it only our perception, whereas in reality there are only individuals? Do individuals exist, or are they only a collection of biological cells? If we push this to the end, we can say there is actually nothing besides that which is existence pure and simple. And this existence then must be eternal, because if being as such became, it would have had to emerge from nothing, that which is the opposite of being. But how can something emerge from nothing? Similarly, if being ceases, it would have to become nothing. But how can something become nothing? Already when we say to become, to change into something, we say that this something is a positive existence and nothing simply is not. We can see here that this has to do a lot with our language. When we say that there is nothing, we already contradicted ourselves. How can there be nothing? This is the way of opinion and falsehood into which mortals fall when they say, "Oh, it's nothing." If we say it is, then it is not nothing, but something. Therefore, it is necessary to speak and to think what is, for being is, but nothing is not. For Parmenides, when we think of something. When we speak of something. We cannot think nothing. So being and thinking coincide. It is only our perception, our false way of speaking that leads us astray. If we followed the way of truth, we would realize that there is only being. To conclude, Parmenides pushes previous philosophy to its extreme. where previous thinkers taught some unifying principle of reality, often distinct from that reality in particular things, water, air, number, Parmenides says that technically speaking there is nothing but reality, there is nothing but being, and indeed nothing besides being. This is an important step in the history of philosophy because, as we will soon see, it will shape the thinking of subsequent philosophers for centuries to come. Philosophers are famous for obsessing with the question, what is being? Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.